Hi everyone, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home. Thank you for joining me. And as you saw in the previous pictures, these are the parts you need to make an illusion star card. I've coloured them just so that you can see where the different parts are. Most of it is very basic and simple. In fact, all of it is really. But I will show you how to put it together on the screen with the canvas, and then we'll go and actually put it together at the craft table. Okay, so let's just get all this out of the way. Tell you what I'm going to do though, the very simple basic things I'm going to keep hold of. So this first part is literally just a 7 by 7 square because that's the size I've decided to do the card. So that's a 7 by 7 square, and then each of these. So this one I done at 3 1/4 by 6 3/4, and you want 2 of them. You'll have a little gap on the inside, but don't worry about that. And then that I just done on the offset, but it's basically going down by 1/4 each time. But I've done it on the offset at 12 inward bevel because they're straight, and done it on a 0.12. When I say 12, that's what I mean, 0.12. Again twice. So that's really straightforward. You don't need me to show you how to do that. This one is very similar, except we've done it a little bit smaller, so it's actually 7 by 5, and then we've done a score line at the 2 1/2. We want it the same size as the 7 by 7 lengthways, but an inch shorter on each side. So 7 by 5, and then score at 2 1/2, and then again for the toppers, that is 6 3/4 down by 2 1/4 across, because obviously this one's 2 1/2, and then that one I done on the offset again at the same thing at 12, and again you want 2 of them, one for each side. So that's the basic toppers. I don't think I need to show you how to do it because it's very straightforward. Now for the rest of it, again these are just little things that we're going to need if you want. So if you saw in my pictures the parcels or the sentiment that sticks out the middle, that's what these are for. So all they are 1/2 inch by 1 inch, and then scored at halfway, so at 1/2 inch. That is that simple. You want 2 of them for the middle of that. Now for the actual mechanism parts. So these are the actual stars. You want, this one has to be 6 by 2, and you can fit the size accordingly. You can do it smaller, you can do it bigger if you like. That's just the size I kind of liked. This is for the middle one that's going to have the supports on. So that is just literally 6 by 2. You do a rectangle, put it up on the X and Y so that the X and Y is 0 0, and then you do the score lines at 1 1/2, 3 and 4 1/2. It's that simple. With these ones, you only want 1 of them. You need 2 of these. It's the same thing, so you're gonna do the same thing, except this is going to be 6 1/2 by 2. You're going to do it at 1 1/2, 3, 4 1/2, but also at 6. And you just want that extra bit to stick these two together, and they're going on the inside. So you want 2 of them. Again, very straightforward. These are the extra layers that go over the top of them. And as you can see, I am a bit concerned that I've done them a bit short. So these are, let's just ungroup them so I can get hold of one. So I've done them 1 1/2, so they're 1/2 inch shorter. 325. So what I've done, I've only left tiny bits there, so I'm going to try it because I'm trying to make the paper as small as I can, use as little as possible. But I've got a feeling you might have to do it at maybe 3.5, because the score lines have still got to go in the same place. Because it's going in the middle of this, let me show you this one so that I can show you properly. See, these are all very straightforward shapes. So this one, let's put it in the right place. And then if I grab them both and do that one so it's centrally aligned, you'll see that the score lines are exactly the same. And that's what you want, because you want it to fold over them. But I think rather than 3.25, you're better off doing it at 3.5. We'll see though, when we get over to the craft table, we'll see if 3, because that only makes it not even 1/4 inch either side. We'll see how it goes though. Once we're over at the craft table, then you can see if you need to make them a little bit bigger. But that's all it is. It's basically boxes with some score lines, and that is everything. Although the thing is, it is, because it's just boxes, it is easy just to cut out yourself and not do it on here. But the good thing about doing it on here is that once it's all measured and sorted and ready to go, then you don't have to measure out every time you want to make it. You can just cut it all out. So that is the good thing. Now, one more thing. You saw in the pictures that I'd done a full star. So all this here makes a half star. If you want to do the full star, you've got to cut it all out again. And do like double the amount, which is fine. You wouldn't do a full star unless it was for someone special anyway. But you saw the insert, that what I've done, I've tucked it in between. So I just want to quickly show you how to make that. I haven't saved it for some reason. So I used right at the bottom this one. So when I done the first insert, it was just a little bit too big, because the first insert I done at 5 3/4. So this one I am just going to do it at 5.5. It's going inside a 7x7, and you are just sticking thin glue on 3 of the sides, so you need it to be able to stick in. So I done it at 5.5, and I think if I get the 7x7, you'll see how much room there is there. And then what I done, I got this, I pulled it out. Instead of doing it with the aspect ratio on, I took it off, and I've done the width. Let's do it at 5 and see what that looks like. I think that might be better. Yeah, I just wanted it a little bit shorter. Now the height is just under the 7, which means that it will come up a little bit, because we're going to have a little bit at the bottom that's stuck, remember. But that's exactly what I wanted. So now I've got that, I'll make sure it's aligned through the centre. It's just under the 7. And then I've welded. Now to enforce it, I did actually duplicate and then cut off most of it. I just left the top bit on and subtracted. So just got an extra little bit to enforce, make it a bit stronger when you're pulling in and out. I mean, you could just do 2 whole pieces together if you wanted, but I think it's just the top that needs it. And then, as always, I've got the stamps that says pull or arrows up. If you want to do it there, just use the text function and do it before you print it out. But that will be the insert. You can add your insert now if you want, or print it out and then cut around the shape. I use the stamp, and I think I'll probably do it again because I like to come out. And I think that's everything. So I will see you over at the craft table. Okay, so I'm over at the craft table. I've got all my bits I want. So we've got the main 7x7 piece, and that has got no folds on it. I have seen people with this card folding it, actually, folding it into a card, but I didn't kind of like that version because it makes the card extra bulky. So what we've got is this piece, which I've already matte and layered the mats. So these two are going to go on here like that. Don't worry about the big space in between, you're not going to really have much to do with that. So them two are going there, and then I've got two to go on there like that. So let's just stick them down and then I'll explain everything else. So that's our two mats, and obviously that is how the card is going to look. The next bit is the actual illusion stars. So we have two that have got ends like that. So if we quickly stick them together, so if you fold this over like this, then this will just fold into it like that, and that is the easiest way to stick things like that together. Make sure you burnish all of your folds though. So again, you've got one square plus the tab, and then this one will just fold one square and it sticks together perfectly. Yeah, make sure you burnish all of your folds because you want them really sharp and nicely together. For some reason. There we go. And then these are the pieces I've chosen to put as mats onto the stars. So I've only put 1/4 inch, which I showed you on the thing. If you want to do a bit more, because it's not a lot to stick round the sides, so you can't see that these are matted together. I'll show you what I mean. If you want to add a bit more, I was trying to save as much paper as I could, because you know I like to do that. So where you've glued it together, if you do the opposite end, then you know you've got the right place. Make sure you've got equal both sides, like that, and then the sides wrap around like that. So when we actually put them on, these bits will be glued and hidden rather than seeing it finish. Okay. Okay, so now we've got them, what I'm going to do next is these two. So you want to make sure that all the parts of these are in exactly the same place, each place they're put on the card. So you want them looking like they're threading in and out of the card, so they've got to be in the same place. So the joined bits is the best bit to put in the middle, because that's the messy bit, so it can be hidden. You're not going to see it if you put it in the middle. You don't have to measure exactly the middle, but you just have to make sure they're both in exactly the same place. It doesn't matter if you're a bit out, unless it really bothers you, then you can measure. So you're going to glue, first of all, this square that's going flat down. Make sure you do it straight. I'm lucky I've got lines on my sheet so I can make sure it's going straight. And then I'm going to do the other side. So it exactly is in the same place. You can leave a little gap. You don't need too much of a gap, but a little gap. And you can see they line up in exactly the same place. And then you are going to put glue on this side, on both the green parts, or whatever colour you're choosing to use, facing up. And what you're going to do is get this part, fold it in half, and just slot it in so you know that it lines up at the top and the bottom, because it's the same measurement lengthways, and then just fold it shut. And then that's the first part done. Just make sure it's glued nice and tightly. And then the next bit you're going to do is this bit. So this bit you're going to fold. See these two green bits? You're going to stick one each side. So if we start with the first one, see it's a very tight fit round the end, so you might want to do it a bit longer, maybe ½ an inch. I will put that on the video of the part where I'm showing you how to make it. Okay, so we need to make sure it lines up with that. So you can see the end of that. This one has to go just before the score line, and then if you fold that out flat and make sure that it's in the same place as this one as you fold it out, and then you want to put glue on this one. And if you fold it in half like that, and make sure this is a one single straight line, then you know it's straight. Make sure that tucks under. And there you have your half star. You see? So then these two little tabs fit nicely on there. If I just show you, all you do, you glue one side and you're going to put it in the middle of the middle star. So it's like that. So you've got a piece coming out, and you're going to do the same on the opposite side. Like that. Let's try and get it so you can see it properly. There you go. Where have I gone? So it's like that, like an X almost. When it's open, you'll see it's like an X. And then what you're going to do is put whatever topper you want onto that card. Now I've got just a sentiment. I've done it as a die cut and then cut round it. It's darker than I wanted it to be, but I should have used gold, but I just thought with all the red it might look nice in red. Okay, so flatten it again. This ensures that everything goes flat. This is why these tabs are good for that. So we'll put that so it's in the middle of the star there, and then when you push it open it pops out like that, but it's still stuck tightly so it can't go anywhere, and that would be your Illusion half star. But I saw Iced Images and I loved her idea, so I hope she doesn't mind me copying it, is to make a full star. And to do this you need some things to put on as decoration, and I've used the Made to Surprise New Christmas collection because they're nice, tall and thin. And you need to make another illusion card that's the same, because what we're going to do is go back to back with it like that. But so you get a full star. First of all, let's decorate this one. So I'm going to have that either on the front or back, and then I thought my Christmas trees, which I'm just going to glue straight on like that. I've just used Nuvo drops to decorate them, and embossing powder. I heat embossed them. So I'll have a Christmas tree either side. And then the presents in the middle. Now I did originally put them on pads, but I don't actually want to do that. I changed my mind and decided to do the presents in the middle. There we go, that's better. I can feel it sticking a lot better now. So now we have that with trees either side. And then we have that one with just the sentiment. I didn't want too much. So now if we stick them together, they're going to make a full star. But it means you've got nowhere to put an insert. So she had this fantastic idea of fitting it into the gap between them. So if you just stick around the edge, just a nice thin bit of glue, then it makes a pocket. Don't do the top, and be very careful when you're sticking it together that you've got it the right way up. Actually, let's do it that way around. So you're not sticking the top piece, just the three other sides. Like that. So it's stuck all the way round and is now a full star like that. And then I just done like the shape I showed you, and I have just heat embossed "Wishing you a happy fun-filled Christmas" with the pull tab there and a fancy arrow instead of the usual one I use. I have added a bit extra there just to make it a bit easier to pull and push. And also in my practice one I'd done it a little bit bigger, but I feel like it was too big. I'll show you in a minute. So obviously you will wait longer for it to dry, and then it just pushes down in the middle like that, and then all you've got is the pull tab to show you you've got to pull it up. I think it's a really good idea, and I hope she doesn't mind that I borrowed it from her. Okay, so that is your illusion star card, and obviously you would do it any way you wanted to. There's your star. You can do just the half. If you're doing just the half, you can just put an insert on the back. This is my practice one, where I just done like a nativity papers. The papers I got from Crafter's Companion. Actually, that's from Crafter's Companion as well. And then on the back I put a nativity scene, but I haven't put any extra around the sides or anything on this one. and as you can see, this was a bit tight. So I put the size a little bit down on that one, because the practice one, although it fits, it is very tight. And I used thicker card, and it's made it so solid and heavy that it is not suitable for posting. I mean, not that it is anyway with this, but this is a lot thinner. Don't know if you can tell. It's a little bit bulky, but it's a lot thinner, and it will fit into a normal envelope. I would go a little bit bigger because of the pull tab, so maybe an 8x8. It's meant to stick up. So there you go. That is the Illusion star card, which is nice and simple. And now that you've got it on Canvas Workspace, you can just cut out the bits and keep going. You don't have to measure it out every time you want to make one, which makes it so much easier. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.